This is like the new theatrics that we're going to have to deal with. And it's nothing more than a staged event in which, in this case, you had Pramila Jayapal, Congresswoman, Emily Randall, the forgotten Washington Congresswoman, and then Maxine Dexter of Portland, the one who said she wanted to have sex with Donald Trump by accident because she was being edgy, I guess. The three of them showed up to the ICE facility, the Northwest ICE Processing Center in Tacoma on Friday night. And they were there for a surprise visit where they demanded to be entered in and then taken on a nice little tour. And they were there in what was not a practiced or at all scripted out event, even though weirdly Como TV happened to be embedded with them at the time. And that was, I think there was just like a reporter who just happened to be there. Totally coincident. You know how sometimes, Jackson, you're wandering around and all of a sudden there is a spur of the moment congressional action?
Yep.
That you were told to show up to so you can film.
It happens all the time.
It was totally coincidental, totally random. But they were there making their demands. I like how they say, 3 congresswomen here. We'd like to do an inspection of the facility.
Well, I'm just grateful to Congresswoman Randall. The Northwest Detention Center is right in her district, and to Congresswoman Dexter for driving up. I think it is very important for people to understand that it is actually our congressional duty, obligation.
Real quickly, how often did they do this duty over the course of the last 4 years?
I don't.
Let me rephrase that. Not how many times they've done a duty over the last 4 years. How often have they engaged in this kind of staged theatrics?
Probably none.
Yeah, none. I don't think so either.
To do oversight of detention facilities. It is written into statute. It is absolutely not appropriate for anybody to try and stop us from going into a detention center. These visits do not have to be announced. So we are here to do our oversight duty.
So, by the way, she's lying to you when they say they don't have to be announced. They can't just literally walk in. That is not how this works. It's not in statute that says, oh yeah, no matter what's happening, just walk in. You're allowed to walk in willingly. You get to do whatever it is. You know that's not how it works, right? They have to know that people aren't that dumb. People are dumb, no doubt, especially locally. There are a lot of dum-dums. Look at how Pramila Jayapal keeps getting reelected. But they can't just walk in. That's not how this works. They have to be escorted. They have to be kept away from like something that might be dangerous in that moment. Again, I know that she wants to pretend otherwise, but there are actual criminals at the Northwest ICE Processing Center in Tacoma. Like some bad people.
No, they're dreamers.
No, some of them are, to quote Donald Trump, bad hombres. Just some of them.
Check in on some specific detainees that are here, and also to listen to all of the staff here as well as the detainees about the conditions here at the detention center.
Yeah, and I'll just share that we
Shut up,
have
Emily.
lots of concerns
Pramila.
across the country with medical support and available services for folks, especially
Oh no, that's
those
Maxine,
who are
isn't it?
medically fragile or needing follow-up more
Never mind.
frequently
Sorry,
than
Emily.
they're getting. So that is one of the issues that we absolutely want to check in on today.
Sorry, Emily, you did shut up. It was Maxine Dexter who had to jump in there. So they go in and they were all like, yeah, so we're the Geo Group. We're the private corporation that runs this. You're going to have to wait for ICE to get here, and then they'll let you in. And so they call the ICE. They're like, yeah, we got 3 annoying congresswomen here with a camera out because they want us to reject them and then have it go viral.
They're probably like, is one of them Pramila Jayapal? Like, how do you know?
How did you guess that? Yeah. No, I called her the squad grandmother. She was upset with me for that. She gave me a look. Oh, no, she didn't give me a look. That's just her face. So that was mean. I'm sorry. So they waited for ICE to get there, and everyone knows what's going on here. They're filming this because they want to turn this into some viral moment. So ICE gets there, and they're all like, yeah, sure, we can let you in we'll give you a tour. But understand, you're not bringing any guests with you. It's just you 3. They wanted to bring in a Spanish language interpreter so that they can talk to the detained. But they were like, yeah, no, this person's not vetted. You think we're just going to have someone come in who says God knows what to the... We don't even know if you're giving them secret information to pass on to the detainees. So no, we're not going to do that. So they come in, they do their visit, they walk around. They were there for almost 3 hours. They said there were no scuffles at all. Weird how when you try to sabotage once and people figure out what it is you're doing, then they don't fall for it again. So they came out and they had shocking revelations. And by that, I mean Seattle Times says they discovered no shocking revelations. But they were doing the surprise visit for a reason, right? They were told all these horrible things, of which none came to fruition. Like none. And yet they walk out having spoken to two people. They spoke to Maximo Londonio. That's the Filipino green card holder who had an arrest record, a criminal history that was actually rather serious that we're supposed to pretend wasn't a reason for him to be stopped. And then they spoke to, who was the other one they spoke to? I can't remember. They didn't give her name. It was one of the people. Remember that Kent beverage manufacturer
the
raid?
mass raid, yeah.
They spoke to one of the women who, Seattle Times tells me, she was scheduled to get married in a couple weeks. A detail that, if anything, ICE is saving you right now from an unhappy marriage. Just get out now. Use this as an opportunity to break things off. You were feeling pressured to say yes. You said yes because you didn't want to say no. You know?
What if the fiance was relieved?
The fiance is the one who turned her in. I'm kidding. He's the one who called ICE. He goes, "Oh, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I proposed.
I can't do breakups. They're awkward, so I'm just going to do it this way.
You do it for me. You do it for me." So they spoke to those two. They didn't really have anything new to say. They walked out and they just said, "Okay. Gosh darn it, we were hoping to get something and we didn't get anything. Trump bested us again." And they threw their fists into the air in anger. And then they walked off into the sunset. And I'm sure they had a wonderful weekend. We had great weather, and that was that. So, yeah, if anything, they will never speak of this again because their clear intent was, one, to be denied so they can claim they were denied, and then two, to find something. And they found nothing. They found nothing but illegal immigrants who committed a crime in addition to being here illegally, who they're still fighting for, of course, obviously. These are open border Democrats. And Emily Randall saying, "Phew, I'm glad I didn't make a big deal about this because it's a bad look. I'll push this all on Pramila and Maxine."
She was kind of the third wheel.
She really was, and it's kind of her district. I don't even think it was her district. I don't think it's in her. This is Marilyn Strickland's district. Where was Marilyn? Well, they didn't want to invite her?
She was like, "No, that's stupid. I'm not going."
Like, no, man, you know what? It's a nice weekend. The weather right now is really, leave me alone, man. Can't do it yourself. Now, if you find anything, let me know, and then I'll hurry up and get down there because I'm only a hop, skip, and a jump away. But you got Emily. Yeah, Emily is kind of, you know. But there's a reason why everyone forgets about Emily. Got to forget. Just nothing about her.